A story goes that while visiting the United States, the Pope found himself riding through Louisiana in a chauffeur-driven stretch limousine. Fascinated by the vehicle, he eventually asked his driver for a turn at the wheel. The chauffeur couldn't exactly refuse the Holy Father. The Pope took the driver's seat, but he quickly lost track of his speed. He pushed the limo to 100 miles an hour, prompting a local highway cop to pull the massive car over to the shoulder. The cop looked inside, saw the driver, and immediately radioed his captain in a panic. He claimed he had a real big fish on his hands. The captain guessed Bonnie and Clyde? No. Al Capone? Bigger. The President of the United States? The cop replied, I don't know who he is, but he's got the Pope as his chauffeur. This anecdote points to a significant confusion in our daily lives. We are often like that highway cop, looking at the trajectory of our own lives without any real understanding of who or what is actually driving the vehicle. We speak of having free will, yet we frequently collide with the same relationship obstacles, experience the same anxieties, and fall into the same habits despite our best intentions to change. This recurring frustration is often attributed to karma, viewed as a cosmic ledger maintained by a divine auditor in the sky, who hands out rewards and punishments based on our deeds. Relying on this carrot and stick interpretation creates a sense of fatalism. It encourages people to see themselves as victims of a distant god or a predetermined fate, rather than addressing the source of their problems. Stripped of these religious metaphors, the word karma literally translates to action. This redefines karma as a purely internal mechanism. It is a blueprint you generate through your own past actions, functioning as an unconscious program that guides your present behavior. To understand this blueprint, we have to look at how action happens across 3 levels: the physical body, the mind, and the energy system. Every moment, your senses collect data from the outside world, triggering a minute mental fluctuation. That mental shift immediately alters your body chemistry. This reaction produces a physical sensation, which reinforces the original mental fluctuation, creating a cycle that gathers momentum without any conscious effort. Over a lifetime, millions of these rapid loops harden into behavioral tendencies. These clusters eventually form what you recognize as your personality. Think of this as old software written for yourself on autopilot. Once the code is recorded, your entire system functions according to its instructions. This software is so pervasive that it governs even our smallest choices. If you attend a 5-day conference and find yourself sitting in the exact same seat every morning, you're seeing your unconscious karmic patterns in action. The traditional Indian term for these accumulated tendencies is vasana. Translating literally to smell or fragrance, it describes a much more subtle influence. This refers to an energetic signature you carry. Much like a flower's fragrance draws specific insects, your unique vasana draws specific types of life situations toward you. The author illustrates this through a childhood story about capturing a 12-foot-long cobra. He hid the snake under his bed in a glass container, but one day the creature managed to escape into the family home. When his father saw the escaped snake, his vasana triggered absolute terror. But the author's own internal signature produced the opposite response. He ran into the room to protect his companion. The same stimulus produced 2 different realities based on 2 different internal programs. Your own unconscious software functions the same way, dictating the types of people, recurring crises, or opportunities you repeatedly invite into your life. Because you were the one who wrote this software through unconscious action, you possess the capacity to intervene and adjust it. To interrupt these automated loops, you only need one specific tool: the practice of conscious waiting. This involves creating a physical delay before engaging in a habit. You might wait 2 minutes before starting a meal, or pause briefly before reacting in anger to a difficult conversation. This pause starves the psychosomatic loop of its momentum. By refusing to follow the immediate impulse, you create a gap that detaches your psychological urge from your automated physical reaction. As you extend these 2 minutes into 2 hours, and eventually an entire day, you train your system to respond to your awareness rather than its history. This is how you transition from being a passenger in the back seat to a driver who is finally in charge of the wheel.